All right, Sam.
Hello, hello.
Things are getting wild.
Are they? Where? What's going on?
Yeah, dude.
What's going on?
Well, everyone's talking One Piece lately, and
One Piece!
DMs all over the. Well, yeah, you've seen some of that shit.
No,
It's crazy.
no, I haven't. Sorry, I'm out of touch.
Out of touch. Okay,
Sorry,
I see how
I'm
it
not
is.
a One Piece stan, but yeah, tell me about it.
Well, they got the whole live action thing all over the place. It's you got these freaky giant snails on the desk, and people are using them as telephones and radios. And, honestly,
like
just the giant ass, realistic, fleshy snail on the desk is what gets me.
Sounds like a transponder snail.
It is. Shit. I don't even know.
I didn't
where
know
to
One
begin.
Piece had D&D connections.
Well, I did find a D&D 5th edition One Piece PDF, which is still a work in progress, but damn if it doesn't have some amazing things that I've been looking into in it.
Interesting. We'll have to talk about it a little bit later.
Oh, absolutely. But it's just like one of those cool things. Like, I have a new lease on life, Sam, and it's not even just because like we got crazy D&D potential coming out of One Piece right now, but I found this lever on the bottom side of my chair.
Okay.
And it pushed my chair up, so I get like a better camera angle now.
Nice. I thought it was going to be like a pull the lever Kronk situation.
Well, if I pull it, I still fall, so yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And with that, why don't we start the show? And welcome to Dungeons and Talkshows, the talk show that brings you monsters, news, and homebrews, and hopefully some snails too. I am your host, Orion.
And I am your host, Sam. Welcome back to another episode.
And we happen to have, in talking about snails, we have a special guest with us today. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, hi there. I'm Max, or online known as Grimley533, and I'm probably best known for the Player's Guide to Insectopia, a 5th edition supplement that includes insect-themed races, classes, and feats.
That's awesome.
I really do love it. We talked about that like a couple months ago, and a concept of a Bug's Life campaign. That's wild. Like with an insect theme setting, you could take the most mundane thing, like okay, giant like a park with picnic baskets and shit, and all of a sudden that's a map.
Okay, I'm sure it's been done already, but who doesn't love a Honey I Shrunk the Kid situation? Right? Like send your players into like their front yard, suddenly they're like fighting these weird bugs. It's awesome. Like
All right. Like you saying you could make like some of the players be normal, generic D&D races.
Yeah.
And then the party comes together because of the insectoid players.
Exactly. Right. I would even go as far as like you have like your party be like 3 or 4 like regular people, right? And then they meet people of like the insectoid races, and they're like, oh shit, they're actually kind of cool.
Exoskeletons, dude. What more can I say?
Yeah.
I like
that armor, baby.
I always find, the opportunities that like things can go through the power of like insect ideas. It's so interesting, And I feel like they don't do enough with insects in the end.
True.
I would say you're probably right about that, because insects are really cool.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, gross bugs, whatever, but like they can do a lot of stuff. Like So yeah,
For sure.
And I always think about when I think about people using bugs or like fighting a lot of bugs or something like that. I always go to like Naruto, right? You have characters like
Yeah.
Shino who use insects, and that's like a very prevalent like usage in my brain for something like magic, like, and it's just like why don't they do that more?
It's just I don't even know where to begin with all of that. It's like, where do you begin?
Yeah, it makes me think of the plague doctor character I made. I gave him a very heavy like swarm ability to swarm theme to his abilities.
Right.
That's really awesome. Yeah. Actually, in my Insectopia Player's Guide, we also have the Swarm Keeper Ranger, for example. That's all based around having your own like a team of up to 3 little minions, insectoid minions, to fight with.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I always love the hive mind kind of idea of things. It was always really cool, really scary.
Like the kind of villains that you can kind of fit into that. It's wild because, like you said, hive mind. The entire big bad for a campaign could be the queen behind the hive, and like you got a lot of soldiers to work through, a lot of workers.
Yeah, I mean the pressure just from like the term of something being a hive mind is like it's immediate like, oh shit, like how deep can this go now? Like what kind of hive mind is like
like
oh,
say you're dealing with ants, dude. An anthill is a dungeon out of the gate. Non-negotiable.
For sure.
Oh man.
Huge tunnel systems you have to track through, meeting all the different ant soldiers and having to fight through everything.
So cool.
Yeah.
I would love to play a campaign like that.
You ever see when they pour like a molten aluminum into anthills and they pull it out and like they have I mean, first off, the terrible thing to do. I do not endorse that.
Much so.
In peace to the ant Pompeii civilizations, but
yeah,
pretty cool.
But they're so cool and intricate. I don't condone how they're made, but holy fuck!
Maybe they like get all the ants out or something. Probably not.
No.
What they sign like a raid siren? All the ants out of the hill.
I don't know. Maybe I can hope. All right, I can hope. I like to think about these billions of ants getting schmirked in a Pompeii situation. All right.
Do you think they have like molten aluminum drills?
Oh man.
Yeah, like you do when you're a kid in school. Like the molten aluminum alarm goes off.
They probably do when it rains.
So I have to ask, where what inspired you initially? Like, what was that trigger that's like, damn, I need more bugs in D&D?
Yeah, so my first inspiration actually came from the Brazilian artist Tiago Lehmann. It's the art you see in the Player's Guide as well. He created this amazing series of small artworks centered on insectoid characters or insectoid fantasy characters. And I just saw them on Instagram and thought, man, those would be so great for D&D. They would make so extremely good, like playable races, and you could do so much with that. So I basically created I think it was the Vespoid race, so the bee, bumblebee and wasp race first. That was my very first post on Unearthed Arcana, on the Unearthed Arcana subreddit. Right. And it absolutely blew up. Probably thanks to the amazing artwork. And then Tiago reached out to me when he saw the post, and we've become actually quite good friends.
You know what? That's really funny that you do say that, because when I first saw the Insectopia, like obviously it was the name. I was like, wait, insects? That's kind of interesting. And then I saw the artwork, and I was like, Oh man,
Yeah.
this is really
It
nice.
just hooks you in.
I was like,
And it's double as good because the first thing he goes with is like bees and wasps. So like that already gets like the average nerd's Pokemon brain going with like a fucking bee drill.
dude, it's so Hollow Knight, and I love it.
Yeah, man. You can't even imagine the amounts of messages I got that were saying like, "Oh my god, I can do a Hollow Knight D&D campaign now. Thank you so much."
Man. That so
that sounds
bad.
cool. Like I've only seen clips of Hollow Knight. I've never actually played it, but I respect how cool it looks.
Hollow Knight is fun. That game's fucking hard. Like, it's fun. Man, if anybody
I do respect
out there
high difficulty.
listening is looking to run one of these games and you want to, hook up with the Nerd Militia, let us know.
Ooh, I'd be down to play an insect type character in a campaign
so
like
fun.
that. I don't even know what I would play. Like, dude,
look, I have my Mantid. I would want to play that. Maybe I can make a new one.
Well, you got it easy. I got like decisions to make if I get into that.
Dude,
well, you have my complete compendium you can take inspiration out of. So just go through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, these are so cool.
You just supplying a whole gallery.
I love it. All right, but before we get too deep into that stuff, what did we want to talk about first? The news, or do we want to dive deeper into the Techtopia stuff?
Well, I tell you what, I do have a couple news bits this week. So how about
I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be back, and I feel like there's so much to talk about.
There's been a lot that's happened since you were gone.
I missed you guys last week.
Oh, you were missed too. We had like half our normal viewership, so
oh, how nice!
Sam is very missed.
So special. Thanks.
You just can't replace a guy like that. So moving into I'll start with the funniest thing, just because Wizards has had a wild year, and I can't get enough of it. I really can't. Let me just pull up my thing here for the little. Where did I put it? Oh, I have to reassign. Well, ain't that fun?
What happened?
Let's see. There it is. It's just difficult working with the OBS sometimes. It just don't want to do. But that's okay. I finally got it. So moving into what we got going on here, Wizards has decided to make a Magic the Gathering Wilds of Eldrin with a anime trailer. So they're doing a new set and whatnot, and pumping out cards as always. People have been overly critical about some of their business practices with that, but don't you worry, everybody. We're going to make up for shady business practices by hiring the studio that made Naruto and Attack on Titan.
Okay. All right.
Anime intro, guys.
We have my curiosity, I suppose.
It's just like, okay, well, you know what? You piqued my interest.
Because this could kind of be fire, because if they do like a whole like tailed beast kind of deck set, that could go crazy.
Well, it's not. It's just the studio. It's not the actual.
Oh, they're not doing like a whole like crossover thing.
No, it's just like a
lame. Boo.
It's just like this weird thing that they're doing, and they're making an original thing to promo their stuff.
Interesting. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
See, now, so the problem with this is not a crossover.
Yeah, the hype's over because like it's all like kind of they got an anime intro. So what you gonna do? I just
Right.
Oh wait, they got a little bit of the trailer right here.
Can we show it? Are we allowed to?
I'm not going to show the audio, but I can take a couple clips out of it. Like, the only problem is we're doing the rest of our stuff through Discord, so it's like, okay,
That's a fair point.
but
Maybe the
viewers could see some of it.
Post, yeah. No, we'll put the link in the description. Maybe Frank can put in a little snippet or something.
Yeah. I'll copy that and send it to both of y'all.
Thank you.
I'll pop it in our general chat on the Discord.
Good idea. That's another thing, man. We gotta start doing more stuff in the Discord. And we need more input. If we have people join who want to do things with people.
What is this music that they got going on? I highly encourage everyone to kind of like check that out when they get a chance. I'm not exactly an OBS master, but
check this one. Oh, it's 3 minutes long. Oh my god!
Yeah, like they made a 3-minute long anime clip to make up for all their shady stuff they've been doing this year.
I see the same thing for like what's that game called? Warhammer? Okay, I see those trailers and they look crazy. And then I see the game and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Honestly. But to be fair though, I like Warhammer 40K. My first exposure to it was the that old PC game Dawn of War.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, real-time strategy. You build your base, you build up all your shit, and you got to mobilize those units, but you got to do it quick because the enemy's doing it too. Get that fog of war. You got to get out there, fight multiple factions at the same time. And I really like the Tau, but like I do not agree with their fascist galaxy ideals. I just think they look cool.
Now I'm
just gonna put that out there in case anyone was wondering. Orion does not support space fascism with space Nazis.
We appreciate that on this podcast. All right, moving on. Oh man, it sounds interesting. Albeit now that I'm slowly hoping for a Naruto crossover, that does sound pretty cool.
Well, there was already a failed Naruto card game, so maybe someone could pick up the old IP on that. Apparently, you can buy abandoned intellectual properties. I found that out recently.
Project for the TheNerdMilitia, perhaps?
Are you suggesting we convince the entire nerd community to get Wizards of the Coast to go bankrupt and then buy all the intellectual property for ourselves?
Yes. I mean, if we wait long enough...
Poor nerds buy the nerds.
Look, man, honestly, if we wait long enough, they'll do it to themselves.
True, yeah.
Sorry.
I don't always endorse corporate suicide, but when I do...
We wish you the best, Wizards Coast, but it looks like it's not going out that
way. I'd say do better, but that would involve having a better boss that isn't Hasbro.
I mean, truly.
What are they going to do? Get another job?
Good, man.
Yep. Unemployed Wizards of the Coast will write D&D books for food. Here, have $2 and a leftover McDonald's burger.
Watch, I bet they'll be coming to the homebrew creators and be like, "Hey, I like this book you made. You think you should
dump all their assets, bankrupt the company, and start a new company called Warlocks of the Coast." Finally, out from under Hasbro's thumb.
Finally, the prophecy has been foretold.
Not that we're putting any ideas out there to any people in particular, Wizards of the Coast.
We would never.
Certainly not.
Anyway, what do we have next in the news segment here?
Well, let's see. Continuing on the Wizards of the Coast bandwagon, they were recently this week released the playtest number 7 for their whole one D&D that's no longer one D&D, and they can't decide what it's gonna be called. And they went and reverted a bunch of things, updated a couple old things. So it's really a lot like how D&D 5e was, except just tweaked.
So it sounds kind of unnecessary, to be honest.
Yeah, like what before?
Yeah, so let's see. Barbarian attack recklessly for a full round rather than just one turn.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Path of the Wild Heart, formerly Path of the Totem Warrior, has updated options. Oh, wow. Because
okay.
Did they change the name of it because of Baldur's Gate 3? Because I think in that game it's called the Wild Heart Barbarian.
Yeah, they decided to change some names. Like, what was wrong with Totem Warrior?
I like the Totem Warrior. I like the idea of having the, this is so much.
Yeah, like your ancestral totem. It's like, my clan has lived by the totem of the bear for generations, and I have finally earned the bear's blessing. Because the bear totem barbarian is the only one that anyone actually used.
Isn't there like the like a phoenix one or something, right? Like a falcon or something like that?
There were some birds and other shit, but I've never met a barbarian player that went totem and used anything other than bear.
Yeah, true.
Let's see. They got the new Path of the World Tree subclass up and updated Berserker, which Berserker was kind of lacking for reasons that everybody has. We're not going to beat the dead horse there.
Right. Beat the dead.
And Berserker. They updated the Zealot subclass.
Okay.
Brutal Critical gets a damage buff. And that's it for Barbarian. With Fighter, they gave us a Brawler subclass, something that they should have had out of the gate.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my god, about time. What the heck?
That's been missing for a long time.
You shouldn't have had to
we've been
mystically craft your own brawler with all these
the thing is, the community's been crafting brawlers for years because Wizards didn't have the gall to do it themselves. I can't tell you how many brawler subclasses I've seen in our homebrew searches for our weekly homebrew.
Yeah. And some of them are really good. So you would think Wizards would be like, oh, damn.
Some are good, some are unbalanced. There's just so many of them. I don't dare highlight one of them because they're just, which one? Let's see. Fighters also got the Tactical Mind and Tactical Shift to expand the use of Second Wind. Okay. So it's good. Making fighters a little bit better. About damn time. Studied attacks grants advantage on attack rolls against an enemy that you've missed an attack on against them. Okay. And they updated some Battle Master maneuvers.
Good. Nice.
Then we got Sorcerer. Innate Sorcery empowers your spellcasting for a limited time. Sorcery Incarnate and Arcane Apotheosis. I can speak, damn it. Boost your meta magic while innate sorcery is active. Sorcerer's Restoration is available at 5th level and scales with your sorcerer level. So about damn time. I love playing sorcerer, so it's good to see some actual sorcerer buffs.
I agree. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And Wild Magic Sorcery is now more reliably allows you to roll on the Wild Magic Surge table.
Let's go! I actually like that.
More chaos, yes.
Yeah.
Why that wasn't a thing already, I don't wonder.
So then with Warlock, they went back to Pact Magic.
Okay.
Apparently they tried to change it. Invocations are now available at 1st level, and your options have been revised. Woohoo! Pact boons are Pact boons are now invocations. And Mystic Arcanum is once again a class feature. Wow, that's a whole lot of work to go back and just have normal Warlock.
Yeah.
Right. That's just normal Warlock. With extra
Patron
stats.
spells are always prepared.
Yeah.
Wait, I've never actually played a Warlock. What the fuck you mean patron spells aren't always prepared?
So they mean with that patron spells. I think you only expand your Warlock spell list with the patron spells, so you don't really need to take them or have them always on you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like that's what I thought. Like, what the fuck you mean prepared spells? Warlocks aren't a prepared spellcaster. Am I stupid or something?
I don't know.
Maybe they changed that as well.
Yeah, maybe they have to prepare
Maybe.
spells now.
Maybe there was a change that I missed. They updated the Archfey Patron, Celestial, Fiend, Great Old One subclasses.
Okay. I can see that.
Okay, well, I
fair.
still don't think they have enough subclasses for Warlock.
They'll never have enough for Warlock, honestly.
Have they made a proper Dragon one for Warlock? I don't think they did.
No, they haven't.
No.
Like,
Definitely could.
how do you not have Tiamat as a proper Dragon patron?
Yeah, like when I played that Dragonborn Warlock, I had to homebrew my own, like...
Yeah, you showed me a homebrew. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll allow it. But, like, it's just so obvious.
Yeah, like, why isn't that a thing?
I mean, the game is called Dungeons and Dragons, so...
Yeah, it's Dungeons and Dragons. They released an entire book about dragons and stuff, but they couldn't be bothered to put a dragon patron in the book.
Yeah.
Major ball drop, and this is why you're failing, Wizards.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it together.
Just because of
Speaking of Wizards, there are a couple changes to Wizards. Spellcasting feature now allows you to swap out a cantrip on each long rest. So, okay, cool. That's some utility.
Yeah, that's nice,
you can,
I guess.
Yeah, that was already an alternative spell. I think that was already an alternative rule that people were experimenting with.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of
some
research
DMs might just veto that out of the gate, but whatever. Memorize spell is now a feature. Modify spell and create spell have been removed from the game. Wow, who knew being able to modify your spells and create new spells would be a problem?
This is why I do this, like, personally within my own games. Like, I allow, some spellcraft a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, because that's how homebrew spells work. If you want to create a spell, you don't need a spell to create or modify a spell. Just talk to your DM. Be like, okay, my character is going to undergo research, time, and effort to make a spell.
Because, like, you have to keep in mind, like, when you have a spell caster, they're not just, like, scrolling through a list, setting, like, a preset spell, popping that bad boy. You know what I mean? They're going through a process phase. These are trained and learned maneuvers. Like, there's no reason that they couldn't, think about how this spell forms and then change it in certain ways,
Absolutely. Like in the case of, like, if we want to go with Naruto, because they clearly like Naruto as much as we do.
Who doesn't?
He didn't just start with a Rasen Shuriken. He started with a normal Rasengan for his spell, and then he had to go and make a new one. He had to develop it. It took time, effort, and resources. But then he made something new. Then he talked to his dungeon master, and then it got approved. And then it was OP and never got nerfed.
Yeah. I experience, a lot of my players, they have a spell they like in theory, but they're like, I wish it wasn't like this. There's no reason you couldn't, attempt to make a change to it, tweak it in a way that you like, that fits your character a little bit more. It's kind of the whole feel of flavor, but, like, to the extent of, like, this is your spell. You learned the spell in some way.
Yeah, like, you let me use Lilia's elemental clone in our current campaign. I've only used it once, and I haven't even abused it.
No, and you use it in a very cool way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I always appreciate your guys' ingenuity.
I try to aspire to be the player that my DM wants me to be.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. They did make some minor spell changes. So counterspell and jump have been updated.
Okay.
I'll have to look into that. I didn't know that they made any changes to jump. Oh, let's see. I can't. You know what? I'm reading this on like D&D Beyond. So like when it references these spells, it goes to how they are on the site. So I don't know if there's any actual difference there.
Mm-hmm.
It's all weird self-referential stuff.
Right. Yeah, I feel like all of this stuff is,
yeah.
To change by whoever's DM is, whatever.
Right. Let's see. Last thing we got going on here for their big update is says here, although grouping spells under Arcane, Divine, and Primal the spell lists was a fun experiment, we felt it benefits to not outweigh some of the new challenges we faced. So they're going back to class spell lists rather than just this new Arcane, Divine, Primal setup.
Interesting.
So when I first read the, I think it was the very first one D&D Unearthed Arcana thingy, I thought that the change to have like these arcane primal divine spell list was kind of a cool idea. It was something new. It would have been something new for the new edition, and now they're just going back on it. So
right, you know what? And that makes me think of like I just started listening to this book, and I just finished it the other day, and they did something very similar to this. The way they kind of grouped up the magics were very interesting. They had like origin, you create something, that's like your elemental magics, your stuff like that. Then you have dominion, your control and manipulation over things, stuff like that. You get like your necromancy in there. You get your like telekinesis and stuff like that, your mind magic. And then you have, what was it called? It was, augmentation. Yeah. Kind of change your body or, alter your form or, something like that. And I kind of like the way, that's kind of described and kind of groups magic.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they had done something similar to that, it would have made a lot of sense. And they should have stayed with it. Like, why?
Right. I think Wizard needs to like stick to their more creative.
They're way too wishy-washy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Now I appreciate the effort, but
yeah. Now they're just basically creating D&D 5e again. It's
here we go again.
Yeah. I wonder if they even know like what they're doing. Like at this point, like
I think they don't. I actually think they don't.
They're just confused.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. What next on the list here, Orion? Got the One Piece live action. You want to talk about that?
I think I'll touch on that in a little bit, but I'm really curious about what you got going on for the monster this week.
Yes. I thought, why not keep kind of the insect theme? I was a little bit curious. I had never seen an arachne in monster book or anything like that. So I did some research.
You mean a drider?
Yeah. I did some research. Then I talked to you, and you told me about a drider. I had never heard of it before.
I was talking about it on the show last week because there's this webcomic I used to read when I was in high school called Spinneret. And this, so Homegirl gets spider powers, right?
Right.
Typical Spider-Man-esque thing, except she grows some extra arms and has to hide them inside a fat suit. And then everyone's like, oh, you're fat. Meanwhile, when she's at home with a roommate, I got girl abs. Look at me. This is fucking awesome. And the first villain she runs up against is also calling herself Spinneret. And this villain chick, she got her spider drider form from taking one of Gygax's first D&D books that had in their canon actual spells. So in this entire canon comic continuity, the D&D gods are real. So she strikes a contract with Lolth to become a Drider. Like, she chose this.
Interesting. That is pretty cool. And it definitely made me think of, you've seen Arachnes everywhere. You got Soul Eater, you got Monster Masune, you got all kinds of shit. You see Arachnes. And I was like, I never saw one in D&Ds. And you told me about the Drider. So I looked up some little bit about it, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So why not talk about Driders and Arachnes?
Tell us all about them.
Oh man, this gave me an excuse to talk about Greek mythology again. Y'all know how much I love that shit. So
I'm biased towards Greek mythology, being Orion.
Exactly. So first things first, you're going to hear me reference Loth a lot, like you did already. For those of you who may not know who or what Loth is, empty out those ears, listen up, and you'll be confused. So Loth was a chaotic evil lesser deity known as the Queen of Spiders, as well as the Queen of the Demon Web Pits. She was also the most influential goddess of the Drow within the pantheon of the Dark Celadrine. And surprise, surprise, her portfolio is the Drow and Spiders, as well as her domain being trickery and war. You do not fuck with Loth or her followers. But what the heck are these kind of hot spider people? There's a lot of them.
I mean, generally, I try not to fuck with spiders.
Look, man.
I don't always. When I do, I bust out the spider gun.
Look, we're all adults here, all right?
Well, listen, old spider gun here has helped me through some tense situations where the kids are scared of spiders, and I have to gamify the process.
Exactly.
It's got a cocking hammer for the thumb. Let's go. I can fan the hammer on these things if I miss. Nerf guns all the way. If you got spider problem in your house, I highly recommend the Nerf hammer shot. Not sponsored, wish we were. And if one more motherfucker talks to me about getting a salt gun, I'm gonna punch somebody.
Hey man, you should get a salt gun.
Ah, damn it. I'm choosing violence today.
Today's the day, boys. All right, let's see here. So Driders were drow that had been transformed from the waist down, so they had the body of a spider. Transformation typically was a punishment for failing a test of Loth. Driders were created from drow in an agonizing process that required a Yaklol. Is that how you say it? Yaklol? Or to be more precise, Loth's power was to be channeled through the demon during the ritual that initiated the transformation. This could only be reversed with the wish spell. So if you're turned into a Drider, good fucking luck. When a Lothite drow reached a certain level of power, that drow underwent the test of Loth administered by Loth herself. Those who failed this test but survived turned into Driders by the Spider Queen. The second category of Drider origins were drow mages. Part of the duties of Loth clergy was to ensure that their idea of society was kept free of dissidents and mages and were put under general suspicion. Once they reached a certain level of power, they were abducted and then subjected to a test of loyalty called the Test of Failures. Were turned by a Lothite priestess into a Drider with magical energy channeled directly from Loth. So I think these ones are more like the clerics of Loth. And when I was doing some research into the Arachne, I didn't find much on them other than the fact that there is a sect of Loth clerics that are Arachne. But there's nothing about them. So I only assume that these are, they were the drow mages.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, because, you got Driders, because, it's like a spider, drow, spider, Drider. And it's like, okay, they're just out there driding about, scuttling, and wrecking shit. And then you got the Arachne.
Yeah.
And they're back shooting spells off all over the place.
Yeah. Right. And then you have the third category of Driders, came about when Loth summoned a drow she considered promising to the Demon Web Pits. They were subjected to a test by the Spider Queen, and when they failed, they were also turned into Driders and sent back. Despite the cultural shunning of Driders, some drow wizards and sorcerers developed a spell to turn temporarily into a Drider called Drider Shape.
You know what? Drider Shape should... Why is that not actively a thing? People would be Driders all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, the spell is made. I guess if you had a drow wizard or sorcerer, they could have access to this.
I'm looking at the Drider stat block. What CR is that? Like, this might be reasonable.
They are, did I not write that on here? I wrote their stats down. I didn't write their damn CR.
I'm looking this shit up. Don't worry about me.
CR6, I think.
There you go. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, they're CR6.
Yeah, that's perfectly reasonable. Terrifying. Disgusting. Bringing back some trauma from the second Harry Potter movie. But, but reasonable.
So, let's see here. So, once turned into these aberrations, Driders left their homes in shame, for they were outcasts in drow society. They grew physically stronger, kept all magical and other abilities and skills they learned during their lives. Driders were also made sexless because Lolth did not want to have a race of enemies to the drow. Not. They just don't want them.
You get a transformation and you lose your gender in the process.
Yeah. You're not allowed to procreate now. Good luck. No babies for you. Driders naturally developed a venom that could sap their victim's strength and paralyze them for upwards to 20 minutes. They could deliver the venom with a bite, or they could alternatively use it as a sticky coating on their weapons. They were immune to all poisons. Driders could also
That's gotta be awkward, though.
What?
Like they're all like upper torso, like drow and stuff. So their options are lean over awkwardly to bite you, or just kind of like kind of lick their blade, like gotta poison that.
Don't they have like a mouth on the? Oh yeah, I guess you are right. They do just kind of like lean down to bite you, I guess. Or I guess they would like pick you up with their front legs and bring you up to them.
They gotta carry you up there. Like, you don't hear about centaurs picking people up to bite them with their horse teeth.
That would be really funny. So Driders could also reliably climb like spiders. The only difference between these two species' movement abilities was the Driders' inability to walk upside down on the ceiling, as they were far too heavy. Thick fucking boys, you know?
My thorax brings all the boys to the yard. Shit, is that the right part?
Yeah.
I might be an idiot.
No, you're right.
Well, no, like spiders are like arachnids. So, like, is it a thorax if it's an arachnid?
Like what is it called? Like abdomen? No.
Yeah, I think it's abdomen, right?
Anyway, about half of the Drider population had the ability to spin webs like spiders. They could do so up to 10 times per day, and these webs worked like a rope of entanglement. It was dangerous for everybody except for its creator. They also had a shorter range dark vision than that of a drow, though their senses were sharper.
Why would their...
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Why would their dark vision be diminished by turning into a Drider? Don't they have the same eyes as before?
They're taller, so they're like higher up. So they have to look down at everything.
They have more like spider-like eyes, I would think, right? Like,
I guess.
So they get spider eyes, but because they don't have 8 eyes, they're kind of fucked in the sight department.
Yeah. They get like the half spider deal. So I also did. I got a little bit of notes for anyone who is not too familiar with, Arachne. Arachne in Greek mythology was a weaver who acquired such skill in her art that she ventured to challenge Athena, goddess of war. Athena wove a tapestry depicting the gods in majesty, while that of Arachne, I believe, showed kind of the sins of the gods on mankind. And, naturally pissed off Athena. And she kind of tore the tapestry in pieces. In despair, Arachne hung herself, or attempted to. I don't think the story is too solid. But the goddess
They usually aren't, but,
it can
after
go
a few
either
thousand
way.
years, celebrity culture hasn't changed much.
The point is she was like gonna hang herself, and then Athena was like, not so soon. Turn that rope into a web, turned her into a spider. Get wrecked.
Athena, the original suicide hotline.
kind of a dick move, but the gods kind of did that.
Yeah, the Greek gods were known for just like, yo, hold up, we're gonna do some fucked up shit.
I mean, to be honest, like these people should have known better.
I don't know. Like, no, you want to talk known better? But most of Greek mythology happens in an era before consent was invented.
I mean, that's a fair point. Yeah, you got me there.
True.
I'm not talking about that though. This is just not making a tapestry.
Shout out to my boy Hades for practicing consent before the rest of the gods.
Honestly, Hades was like the only cool one. Hades did nothing wrong. But all right, let's get into the stats and abilities here.
He disconnected.
So they had a strength of 16, dexterity of 16, constitution of 18, intelligence of 13, wisdom of 14, and a charisma of 12. So, pretty good all-around stats.
Very much so, yeah.
For a CR6 creature. Not bad.
He's gone. I thought I had it all, and then I had nothing. It's times like this that I'm grateful that I'm not Wizards of the Coast.
Oh yeah, why is that?
Well, for all my faults, at least I'm not trying to rescue my fan base with Naruto animation.
Have I returned from the ether?
You have.
Oh God!
You really got to stop casting Blink in the middle of a podcast.
Oh Jesus! The Drider just kind of stole me away for a hot minute. I had to escape back to the material plane.
Yes. But he's back.
Yes,
I lost my train of thought. So.
They didn't like me talking about their stats, I guess.
But you know what? It's our fault for bad mouthing the gods.
True. All right. Do I need to repeat the stats, or did you hear that part?
We did not hear the part about stats.
Cool.
But I think we got the general gist of webbing all day, every day.
Yeah, they're pretty strong. They got kind of all-around stats, for a CR6, nothing too crazy. Pretty good constitution.
Given this is a lower CR, I'm going to give this one an IRL fight score, because most of the time the things we bring into the show are fuck no.
Hold on. Before you do that real quick, let me give you a little bit more of their abilities.
Ooh.
So,
give me that intel, boy.
All Driders could inherently class Clairaudience and Clairvoyance, Dancing Lights, Darkness, Detect Good, Detect Law, Detect Magic, Dispel Magic, Fairy Fire, Levitate, and Suggestion once per day. Darn once noted that these abilities were essentially the same as those owned by powerful Blessed Drow, and used this fact to dupe Driders into supporting his cause by calling them blessed creatures of Loth by pointing this out. That was interesting. They could also cast spells like normal clerics, sorcerers, or wizards. Those who could cast spells like clerics could cast spells from 2 of the Chaos, Destruction, Evilry, and Trickery domain. Evil and Trickery domain. Sorry, I can't read apparently.
Don't worry. It turns out 4 out of 5 Americans can read, so we're doing pretty good for ourselves these days.
They also had the Fey Ancestry. They have the advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic cannot be used to put them to sleep. Wisdom was their spellcasting ability. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and that's about it. Oh, they also have a disadvantage on attack rolls, as well as perception checks in sunlight.
Okay, that makes sense, but you're going to fight these things in the Underdark.
Yeah.
Or in the corner of your room under your bed.
Yeah. My closet or something,
maybe at the top corner of your shower.
Right. While you're taking a shit, underneath the toilet seat.
Oh God!
Drider pops out.
Long sword in hand.
Yeah, exactly. Pops out of the toilet. These are they are large creatures. So I mean, shit.
I can ride them.
You can ride.
You're saying there's a chance.
They are chaotic evil, though. So you know.
Well, hey, listen. If they can do it in Spy Kids, I can do it too.
That's a fair point. You know what? That changes everything. I'm gonna give them like a 6. I gotta take them.
You think? Okay. I gotta hear this argument. What?
All right. So first of all, we've already kind of gone over how they're kind of shit at seeing, right? You know, that's like half the battle. They can't even see you coming. What are they gonna do? Like,
they still have dark vision though. So
no.
You have to sneak.
But you gotta
sneak up
do,
one of these things.
All you gotta do is get out of their like line of sight. They're fucking spiders. Right? Like, you're gonna like they got like 2 ranges of motion. Like, you gotta, you know. I don't imagine that their side to side is that good. You know what I mean?
I don't know. They're built like a crab.
But they're spiders.
Oh, that's true. I can confirm crabs are not spiders.
Yeah.
Probably.
You know what? You know, spiders have like a collective hatred for like fire, you know? And I feel like I would take like a flashlight or something, turn my brightness up on my phone, flash them in the eyes real quick. Go crazy. Get on their back, then what are they gonna do? Like
turn around and bite you because now they don't have to like.
They have like 360 like spine movement.
Well,
they got like the owl powers. They can rotate their head 360 degrees.
Oh God. That would be terrifying.
Okay, I'm loving this argument.
I can take them. All right, maybe like a 7.
Okay, I gotta hear Max. IRL fight score out of 1 being easy for you, 10 being no fucking way. Could you take a Drider in a fight?
Nah, man, that would be like a 12. I'm not a fighter, and I'm not messing with a half fighter, half bro demon thing.
I appreciate the honesty, but you know, I would think that you might have a better chance. I mean, you bust out ye old Craig's messer.
All right, Orion, what about you? You think you could take one?
You know what? I'd say I'm leaning towards like a 7.2.
I feel like it would be like a tough fight, but like I feel like they'd have weaknesses you could exploit. You know, it wouldn't just be like you get stopped immediately.
Like I have to be in control of the encounter for that to even work.
Yeah.
Like
if they catch you in the ambush, you're fucked. Like
yeah, like if they ambush me, I'm done anyway. Poison.
The second you get by a web, it's over. Like
yeah. The second they web me up, but like 2 things. I always carry a lighter, even though I don't smoke. I always carry a blade because who doesn't carry a knife ready for everything? What, you don't carry a knife with you always?
I do. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, good. You should always carry a knife. You never know when you need to butter toast, cut rope. Like knives are good for everything.
Exactly.
3. Anytime I go anywhere, I keep my. I've been too lazy to take it out of the car, so I keep my bow and arrows in the car.
Hell yeah, strapped and ready.
Yeah. I was testing that out today, and it's like I got about 120 meters worth of range on that.
Well, if a dry guard ever comes busting out the sewer system, you know, we know you're ready.
Yeah, so first, at long range, I'll start with the 5 fuck around arrows, which are all bullet tipped.
See, I always like to think about these scenarios in like a death battle situation. You know, you're like set on like a football field. You just gotta dash it out.
Yeah. And then like if I get into like a small place and like kind of lure it in, maybe trap it a little bit. Water,
I'm listening.
Okay, so like I think if I like kind of like trick it into getting into a small place and I light one of the other arrows, like I kind of like get it with like some like maybe melt like a little bit of plastic onto it, light that, like maybe some styrofoam on the arrow, and like get it with one of the broadheads. Those are the find out arrows, and get them in the point blank. Maybe hope for the best. Maybe I don't die. Aim for the torso, because that exoskeleton, I don't think I'm punching through that exoskeleton.
I like the fuck around and find out arrows.
I know. Because
see, that's why you gotta get them in the soft human bits, the soft drow bits.
Yeah, you gotta shoot for the drow bits, or shoot them in their terrible eyes.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, when once you get on that back, they're done for.
Well, I guess this is all predicated on if I'm out and about, I'm driving, I got my car, so like on the side of one car, I got a good sized knife, and on the passenger side, there's my little smithing 2.5 pound hammer. So like, get them far away for the bow, and if they get up close, I chuck the hammer at them, and then.
I love that you could just like hit them with your car.
Well, this is D&D, sir. I'm not going to presume that I'm always going to be able to just hit them with my car, but that would definitely be the first go-to.
I get out of my car and pull out my bow.
Well, yeah. This is a fight, sir. You might pull up on somebody, but you don't just pull up on somebody.
Drive by with your bow, like driving with your feet.
Dude, it'd be the most difficult shot of my life, but damn if I wouldn't try.
All right, alternatively, you shoot with your feet and drive with your hands.
I've seen videos where people do that.
I've seen it done. This episode is going places.
Damn.
But that is
we got
all
spiders,
I have.
we got insects. I'm good.
That is all I have for driders and arachnids today, guys. You guys
damn. Apparently, I got a drider plan, so yeah. I'm good.
Oh, man.
All right. Let's see. What are we at for time, Sam?
I'm not sure. My thing died.
Okay, we're good. We're good on time. I just had to check that real quick.
I think now is a good time for your Descriptify.
Well, for this week's descriptive word, I'm going a little bit more European, a little French.
Okay. We're cultured here.
Yeah. We're a real cultured lot. So I've been butchering this word for a couple years now, and no one told me. It's even more embarrassing because my wife is like proficient in French. Nice. And she just let this happen.
She let you be ignorant.
Yes. Like, the most insulting thing you could say to me is, Orion, you're ignorant. And I've been running around saying this word wrong for years. Now, how I was saying it is Adelaire. Because that's how it's spelled. Yeah. Okay. Atelier. Adelaire.
Atelier. Okay, gotcha.
But how it's actually said is atelier.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
What
Fuck
that
me,
mean?
Right? An atelier is a workshop or studio, especially for like artists and designers. So like, parties investigating, maybe someone got like killed, and like you got to check out their atelier, their art studio, their workshop. Maybe like they did like a lot of woodworking and some painting, and like they had like the whole setup, some real Da Vinci looking shit.
Right. Then you find a painting made out of flesh, and then it comes to life and tries to fight the party. All kinds of fun ideas.
Flesh golem, I love it.
Exactly. Just a menagerie of ideas you can do with that.
Yeah, because this ain't just an art studio; it's an atelier. So we have to have that fancy flesh painting that tries to consume you.
It does kind of give like a magical kind of feel to it.
Yeah, and it also would be good for like maybe if you're dealing with more royalty and nobles, like your common worker has, their workshop, the art studio, the nobles, the atelier.
Yeah. I didn't just spill water all over my leg.
But you spill water on your leg, or did you piss yourself?
Yes.
No judgment.
If I
came damn close last week.
If I say I did, would I win this episode?
No way.
Anyone who listens to Distractable may get that reference. All right.
I would certainly hope so.
I like it.
Moving back into insects and stuff, Max, tell us more about your whole homebrew setting and world and everything that you've been working on.
Yeah, for sure. Where do I even begin? It's been such a long ride since I've started creating Insectopia. So like I said before, all started with the player's guide and the first couple of insectoid races on the Unearthed Arcana. And now I'm actually working on a setting to bring all these awesome insectoid races to life.
Oh man! Sorry, I mean interrupt. Do you think you'll be running like a game once you're done?
I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually sadly
we
never gotten to
DMs
playtest my stuff.
People to play test for you?
Very shame.
We would love to.
Yeah. The Nerd Militia has got plenty of people that want to play.
Awesome, yeah.
And not enough people running games, so that's always a thing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to you on that one. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, please. So I'm wondering, when you were making Insectopia and everything, did you watch like A Bug's Life and like Ants and stuff?
Well, not particularly Bug's Life, but I've kind of studied insects for a while. I research stuff online and stuff, got an inspiration from real bugs, and you can see many abilities of the insect races have very large inspiration, of course, from the real life counterparts. For example, my termite race, the necrites, can consume wood as food, basically. Which really cool. Which relates back to the real life.
Do you have a favorite insect, whether it be from your thing or like a real life insect?
Good question. Good,
because I always feel like if people ask me that,
I have
like the Mothman thing behind
really like
you.
Moths, you know, like a death head moth. I really love those. I really love
those are so fucking cool.
Yeah, I really love like Hercules beetles. You know.
Those are great, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I actually kind of love bumblebees. I don't know why.
Oh man, and mantis.
Yeah, just because they are
awesome.
like the real life insect is so like cute and fluffy and so just bumbling through the air.
Just a bumble buddy.
And I've of course also made a bumble sub race for my Vespoid race, and they are basically completely different. They are powerhouses, like huge, bulky, muscular creatures of pure strength.
I love it.
Yeah, the powerhouses of the hive, basically.
Was there like a particular insect you were like looking forward to working with or like coming up with ideas for?
Also a very good question. I've enjoyed creating every single race in the book. I can't even really put a finger on one. Actually, probably my ant race, the Formicoids. They have a ability. I try to bring the ants' natural strength into the book, and they have basically an ability where they can use the larger damage die of versatile weapons when they wield it in one hand, basically. to give them life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've decided
I
if
do
I
like
play in a
that.
game like with all this insect stuff,
Interesting.
grasshopper.
Oh yeah,
Dude, okay. This is why I asked the bug life and the ants question, because I think about like the
I love grasshoppers in real life
They're
because
so
like when I was a
cool.
kid, I used to catch them all the time. You know the ones that flutter around with the little wings that they go all over the yard. Like, dude, I would hoard them. And I'd like catch like a whole bunch and stuff them in my mailbox. And then when the mailman would show up, you just get like it'd be like a biblical swarm of these little locust-looking things coming out.
What the hell?
Yeah, he's quit after a month.
This house is cursed.
Ah, damn.
This poor mailman thought there was like a plague.
In retrospect, I feel kind of bad for harassing this poor mail dude with a swarm of locusts coming out of a mailbox. But you know, when you're a kid, you make your own kind of fun.
That's so funny.
True. Yeah, when you get around to making your character, we actually also have, of course, a grasshopper race, the Thoptra, which have two sub races as well, the locust and cricket sub races. Crickets being focused on like, crickets are basically then focused on like more this musical element, right? They are basically naturally bardic, bard like that. They can use their limbs actually as musical instruments.
Never lose your spellcasting focus.
And the locusts. Yeah, exactly. And the locusts are more like your ranger hunters. They can get a flying speed as well.
I'd love to play a ranger locust grasshopper, dude.
Because I always think about like D&D.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Oh yeah, you just like jump up. You're like,
The jump shots would be wild.
That'd be sick. That'd be really cool. See, I always think about like a mantis or like pulling out like a beetle character.
Mm-hmm,
that sounds.
The mantis race I created I like as well. I kind of try to do a bit of like I think you call it sexual dimorphism or something, with two sub races which are basically biologically one is male, one is female, and the orchid and the warrior mantis. Right. And the warrior is basically all about like grappling. So they have a reactive grapple as a reaction, and the orchids are more like psionically aligned. They have like psionic spells and stuff like that.
Right, I like that. Yeah, I kind of did the same thing when I made that Manted homebrew character. Kind of made like a monk, fighter, soldier kind of deal. Protect the queen. Blah, blah, blah.
Ooh, like trust and believe someone's going to run into the campaign with a ladybug character.
Oh yeah,
for sure, man. I really want to create a character which is like this cute little ladybug, but secretly like is a complete like sadist or something, to like completely throw over
I
like the conceptions, maybe a rogue assassin or something like that.
Do you? Okay, here's another question. Have you had any ideas where you're like, oh man, I wish this could work, but there's no way?
I wish this could work, but there's no way. No, I don't think I actually have any ideas that I don't try to make work in any sense. I'm always trying to like get my vision on the paper and tweak it around and make it work, basically.
An idea just kind of struck me.
Right.
Now, hear me out. A roly-poly mafia. A mafia full of roly-polies! And Ladybug is the mob boss.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
You come to me on the day.
That's a party idea right there.
Roly-polies, let's roll out.
Oh, that's so good.
The rolling mob.
So good.
Dude, Just imagine,
man.
the party shows up and everything's like, they get in that intense showdown with the big bad. It's like, roll in, boys, and just like they're surrounded, these they roll in all over the place, and boom, out of nowhere, just a whole bunch of roly polies.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I actually haven't created a roly-poly race myself yet, but I think people on my Discord have. I have amazing folk on my Discord, and they also create Insectopia aligned homebrew as well, and it's amazing.
Well, yeah, feel free to link your Discord.
For sure, I will.
That'd be awesome.
It's an amazing community we've built there. It's really kind people. We have a few regulars that talk on it every day, like about D&D and other TTRPGs, or just life in general. It's very cool. Very, very.
Absolutely. I'm pretty proud of how things have gone with our Discord, and I'm glad more people are utilizing it for projects like this.
Yeah, actually, I mean,
honestly,
really cool. I love seeing people excited about the things they're doing.
Let's see. Do we got anything else, Sam? Ah, yes. Talking so much on homebrew that I almost forgot about our homebrew. You want to go first, or should I?
Know, right? I'll go ahead and start it off this time. All right, so I was looking through,
but then all
Tumblr,
of a sudden,
looking for something cool to catch my eye. I went back
to yeah, generic realm people. Let's go. You do love Griffin Saddlebag homebrew. If anyone out there wants to share their homebrew so Sam can diversify a little bit, hit them up.
Please. I try to find the ones on Tumblr, but they're all around, all over the place. It's hard to find the ones that are
yeah, people have when it comes to Tumblr, it's hard to be like, okay, who actually made this? But we do enjoy giving people credit.
Right. So I want to give credit where credit. So this time I want to talk about the Wand of Incense. So this wand is a rare item, requires attunement by a spellcaster. This item is a magic incense holder sculpted in the design of a smoldering dragon. Its base is wrapped in leather and doubles as a handle of a wand. A stick of special magic incense appears in the holder daily at dawn, which is held in place by the dragon's mouth and cannot be removed until it is burned away. The special incense smells like a heady brimstone and fills you with a sense of confidence. While a stick of incense is in the holder, it doubles as a wand.
You know what? I think I can. Let me just, you sent it to me earlier. Let me pull that up.
So the wand has 3 charges for the following properties. When the special incense reappears at dawn, so too do the wand's 3 charges. The incense only burns down when you expend the wand's charges, doing so proportionally to the number it has remaining. Any of the special incense is remaining when the new stick appears, it's replaced completely by a new one. Alright, so while holding the wand, you can use an action to expend one of its charges, cast one of the following spells. Using a spell attack bonus of +7. Find familiar in the form of a pseudo-dragon. Fall cloud, the cloud made of smoke. Misty step or scorching ray. If your attunement to the wand ends, the familiar is lost. Oh, misty step or scorching ray. If your attunement to the wand ends, the familiar is lost. When you cast misty step in this way, you leave behind and reappear in a cloud of smoke.
I like the look of it, and I'm the kind of guy that likes to burn incense around my house.
Yeah.
So the concept, in between fights and stuff, you go to town, you hit up a shop, and you can buy a set of incense. Well, you could have like a whole set of incense. Like you could just make everything smell amazing all the time.
And this kind of
Ooh, so with a little bit of homebrew on the DM and players part, we'll work together on that. You could have tons of fun ways to augment this. Like, dude, there's an incense called Dragon's Blood. Tell me that wouldn't have game ramifications.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Yeah. And for the final ability on this thing, there's Draconic Ward. While you can smell the incense burning, you can't be frightened by dragons. In addition, a dragon that smells the incense has disadvantage on any attack roll it makes against it. If you have a normal stick of incense, you can use an action to place it in the empty holder. Normal incense burned in the holder never loses any of its total burn time, but it is expelled from the holder when the special incense expires at dawn. So you have infinite, normal incense, but it'll be yeeted from it when the new one appears. Incense burned from the holder can be smelled by any creature within 60 feet. While holding the wand, you can choose whether or not the incense is burning.
I like
no action required. So, and I feel like in the same sense, you could kind of reflavor this into being a pipe.
There's tons of potential
like smokes, there. Or something. That could be really cool.
All right. Well,
super cool idea. I like.
We talked a little bit about One Piece at the start of the show, so I'm kind of gonna bring it full circle. I'm into One Piece, and if anyone really needs to steal some ideas from a show for their players, most of your players aren't going to watch it. 1,000+ episodes. That's too much of a time investment. Attention spans are at an all-time low. Now's your chance for something that they'll never know. And they'll never know.
Sure, you can live out your dreams of having your One Piece campaign.
You might have to change some names of things in case they hear through the grapevine. But,
Exactly. You can have a character named Luffy.
So what I present to you from the 1D's 5th edition Homebrew Player's Handbook, which is set for an entire campaign, ripe with stuff for you to just take and run with as you please, whether it be dials or the concept of illegal weapons, which illegal weapons is really fun. It's like you already got magical type weapons, but illegal weapons are like, an uncommon one might have the potential to wipe out a house. A rare one might have the potential to wipe out a block. A legendary would have the potential to wipe out a town. Like, just look, there's tons of ideas in here. Like, dude, illegal weapons in D&D, the concept that there's magic items and shit, but if you get caught with certain things that have a certain damage threshold, all of a sudden you got problems.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that this would already be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can't, maybe some spells would be illegal outright. Like, you can't, like, yeah, like.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you do see a lot of that with, like, necromancy spells, in a lot of cases, what is it called?
That's usually the case in most settings.
Reanimation stuff is.
I would imagine, how many cities want fireball being cast within 100 miles of them? You know what I mean? Most evocation, evocation's usually destructive as fuck.
There's livelihoods and stuff. There are these. In a lot of cases, you have fights will break out in a building or something, and people are casting fireball inside buildings and stuff. That's not going to blow out a wall
with burning hands
or set the building on fire or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you got to keep in mind, there are actively people supposed to be, in these environments. A lot of the cases.
Yeah, starting a fire isn't exactly the best move sometimes. But that aside, I'm talking about the Den-den-mushi, which is the English translation is transponder snail. I fucking love these things. They are a species of telepathic snails that can be used for vocal communications, like phones. So if you want to keep a fantasy setting, but you want to have your players have the ability to have a phone call every now and then, a little bit of networking, maybe the bad guys find out some shit because someone made a phone call.
Look, these are very, very common items. You know, you see these in a lot of campaigns, whether it be like a sending stone or something, or a transponder snail.
The last campaign I was working on, there was a slow development towards a sending network.
Yeah, right.
And I really did just kind of let them be used straight up like phones.
You know, like in our last game session, when you used your proficiency with
and these
psionic
work on the same principle because these are psychic snails.
Group chat with the party. You know?
Now they come in various sizes, shapes, and shells.
Yeah.
And they'll typically have receivers and dials kind of like augmented and built into their shells and bodies.
And I just think of like the Adventure Time like snails or whatever.
Yeah. These so basically they modify the shells to be able to utilize their psychic nature and stuff. Yeah, like that. Because like they're snails, so they move into new shells. So you can. That's how a lot of their augmentations come about. Now, the standard snail is commonly used. Let's see.
Yeah.
The most commonly used one have telepathic abilities that allow them to serve as telephones. When two of them connect to each other, any sound that plays into one will be transmitted and sent over to the other and be perfectly replicated by the receiving snail and vice versa. And when this happens, they'll straight start talking, but it'll be that other person's voice. Yeah. Their mouth is a speaker, effectively.
They're just like, they become
which I find hilarious. Like, imagine you got this ugly ass big old snail and you're talking to some lady on the other end.
That's pretty good.
No, Mom, it's not a phase. I can come home anytime I want. I just don't want to. Okay, so there are... Yeah, they're just amazing. Like, you got the baby ones. They're much smaller than the regular ones, for obvious reasons. But you can conceal them in clothing, and you can, hide them in places to avoid detection. And they have a weaker signal range, so they're not going to go nearly as far. But that's good for stealth missions. Yeah, they're like earbuds.
Right.
And they legit used them like earbuds in the One Piece live action that I was watching through the wife this
these
week.
Would be like the...
I think they crawl up next to the ear, like you put them on top.
All lined up.
No, you could probably it just crawls up in your ear canal and just starts speaking.
Oh man, having a slimy snail in my ears.
It's just a wet earbud.
That's what I'm saying. You just plug the shell in there.
Who hasn't dropped their earbud in the toilet and be like, oh shit, let me just put that back in there. The relatable problems.
That's how you get earache.
I'm not speaking from personal experience.
I do ears.
No. We also got the black transponder snails. These are meant to intercept and listen in on other people's communications. Yeah, spy snails, dude. Often used by government agents and spies, for obvious reasons. Yeah. Then you got the white species, which are used to act as interference against spy snails. So it's like one's good for stealing transmissions. One acts as a jammer.
Okay. Like a blocker.
Yeah, so the white snail is your VPN.
Right, okay, yeah. Like a server, server jammer. Like it. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to you would have organization that's like
a
doesn't want any
like the Harpers or like maybe like a revolutionary army or something some wild, maybe like a thieves guild uses these kind of things.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. They would have both like white and black.
And this opens up so many things where your players can try to steal one of the enemy's transponder snails, because like although they have the ability to listen in normally, like oh no, their way of being able to steal intel doesn't work.
You know what?
They're too sneaky.
Look, I always say, like if you're having a party, and they're fighting like an active organization, there's no reason you wouldn't find these on some.
It's reasonable, and it makes it open and easy access if you implement these into a game. And communication networks can build storytelling.
Now suddenly you're listening in. You got a radio tuned to their station.
That can be a great way to tell your players where to go, because a lot of parties find themselves not knowing where to go.
What? Now you can drop encoded hints to your players.
Yeah. It's like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. They're just kind of standing around, like maybe we'll go shopping. All of a sudden, the one with the transponder snail that's been listening into the enemy spy network. Oh, guys, come on. That's
your one's a little defective, so it just screams.
You can give him tons of quirks. Just going around trying to sneak through the dungeon. Hold on, I gotta take this call.
I'm sorry, guys.
Mom, I told you not to call me while I'm on adventures.
That's just my ringtone.
You left your shield at home. We got other ones. There are visual snails that they can transmit images and video feed.
That's really cool.
So it's like, dude, that their eyes start flashing, and they can also act as projectors.
Oh, nice. So I would imagine this for like the leaders, like the government. Or whatever would have these.
Yeah, they could have Zoom calls and everyone's all awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
or surveillance cameras. Mm-hmm. You could have a snail a telepathic surveillance system, and all of it's just kind of like linked up through like maybe a mind flayer that taps into the psionic network.
Oh, dude, because like now it's like what if you walk into a building, you look around, it looks like a pretty regular place. Why is there a snail? Yeah, what's your snail up there for? It's kind of weird.
Like as far as your players are concerned, if they're used to just the audio ones, they might not know to be like, oh, don't worry about it. We just gotta sneak past and be quiet. No, it's looking at you.
You see it. You made eye contact with it.
Yeah, and unlike a normal video camera feed, like, oh, shoot out the cameras, we got to go kill an innocent animal. Okay, and it goes further. Let's see, the special ones, considered to be very rare, these are kind of like reserved for like high-end nobility, government officials, used for emergencies. They can send emergency signals. So like the gold ones will send like a signal, and like any silver one within I don't even know. You could decide the range as a DM, but effectively, this is the kind of snail that you'd use to call an assault. Like, okay, drone strike snail.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
okay,
like a gold snail could be like the nuclear launch codes.
Oh, yeah, like only ring this in like absolute emergency.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, like you sneak into the king's castle and you steal the nuclear launch button. Like you press this snail's button, every high-level mage in the country is going to cast Meteor Swarm addressed to whoever it may concern.
Holy shit.
In One Piece, such a action would be called a Buster Call, which I love the term Buster Call. Like, oh, we're just going to absolutely just demolish this island or this city or country.
Like hundreds of mages in like a whole country just suddenly cast a meteor sword.
Oh shit, if every mage in your country came together because you pressed a button to cast fireball on one location. Now you're cooking with gas. That's real power.
I mean, that's what they used to do. You know, they would have hundreds of mages do rituals and make the 9th level spells or whatever.
Oh, and another fun thing that players would really latch onto is in the show, transponder snails take on like some of the appearance of their owner.
Oh, is that why he has like that one with the little hat on it?
Yeah, like sometimes people dress them up to look like themselves, and other times like they just straight start developing a psionic connection with the owner, so they'll start to resemble the owner. Like maybe they'll grow like a certain hairstyle or eyebrows or like a like a teeth or whatever.
Snail with teeth.
Yeah, like you got a fucking one member of the party that's all meth mouth looking, and that affects the snail.
Meth mouth snail. Oh Jesus! But I like
Dude,
it.
could you imagine?
There's a lot you can really do with it, and you could really flavor these to be anything.
Honestly, and that's what I love about them. There's just so much story potential because there's a lot that's lost in our typical D&D fantasy settings by not being able to communicate quickly. Like fast communication is a game changer. Like your party could be easily ambushed by a band of bandits that has the ability to coordinate. Like wars are won and lost based off of intelligence and communication.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if you're able to kind of like convey like a tactile intelligence to your enemies, that just makes like the threat that much more.
It can also be used to build bonds with NPCs that the players don't get to see very often.
Yeah, they're like, here if you ever need me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you ever need us, call this number, or you just give them a snail that's a direct line. Yeah. Or maybe they give you a direct line.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now, you did something similar in our campaign where Cosmo is a direct line to the king.
Exactly, yeah. Got a little half yours familiar. Kind of lent you a familiar.
Yeah, we got this familiar as a loner. We've got to bring him back with a full tank of gas.
Yeah, he just feeds on your dreams a little bit.
Not my dreams. I need those.
Well, all right. Anything else?
I think that's about it. I was very excited to talk about transponder snails this week, and I'm glad to have you back for it.
Yeah, this was a nice episode. I'm happy to have you, Grimley. I'm very excited to. So when do you think we could expect your new stuff?
So we actually update the World Anvil page of our setting semi-regularly. So we try to bring out like at least an article per month, hopefully more in the future. So join the Discord if you want to be up to date for that one.
Now's the time, go ahead and plug yourself. Where can these fine people find you?
Yes, so easiest way to find me is probably on Reddit, username Grimley533. Otherwise, like I said, on World Anvil, the setting of Varzen, which is the setting I'm working on.
Awesome.
I highly recommend trying a little bit of promo through Twitter because the community there is very receptive to like promoting each other's settings and work. So if you really want to like get more eyes on your team right there, that might be a good way to do it.
All right. Yeah.
It was great
gonna
having
look into it. Thank you.
It was a fun episode. We look forward
I've
to your
had
stuff.
fun. Yeah.
Guys, please check out Grimley and everything he's making.
For us,
I
I
look
had a
forward
lot of
to
fun
it.
as
And I
well.
hope we get to, I don't know, be in a game with you one day and experience all your stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And everyone out there, you have a great weekend. Looking forward to next week's episode. We're going to have the Gnome Depot on, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Ooh, nice.
And got a very comical way of going about his homebrew, so I'm personally very excited. You know, with a name like that, you can't go wrong.
Absolutely. Yep, guys, stay tuned for that next week, and hope you like this
Very true.
episode. Hope you enjoy it in the future. Check us out. We're Dungeons and Talk Shows. Find us on our socials, on our YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, join the Discord and stuff. But hey, we're nerds, so what do we know? And bye.